The Nekutsuya Yakuza clan specialized in stealing elite pedigree cats. That evening, the thug Kamajimi and his accomplices were tasked with stealing Roblox's most expensive cat, Hello Kitty. They were promised a reward of 1 million Robux for successfully completing the job. The ninja thieves screwed up. A motion sensor was installed in the mansion. The alarm went off. The cat theft operation was a failure. They had to flee quickly before the cops arrived. Fleeing the crime scene, the Yakuza hurriedly jumped into their powerful ninjamobile. Before they could drive off, the cops appeared on their tail. A tense chase began. The cops were already far behind. But the bandits suffered another setback. The ninjamobile suddenly ran out of gas. The criminals rushed into the nearest apartment building to escape pursuit. At the moment, they had no plan. They simply wanted to escape. On one floor, they had to decide where to go next. A vicious dog could be heard barking behind one of the doors. The bandits decided not to go there. A gamer was sitting in the second apartment. He didn't even notice the criminals had broken into his apartment. When the guy returned to reality, his only request was to finish playing his favorite online action game, War Thunder, as a major update called Apex Predators had just been released, something even the most seasoned Roblox bandits had heard about. Bandits were so engrossed in the game that they didn't even notice their hostage slipping out of the apartment. By the time Majima looked up from the screen, it was too late. The gamer had vanished without a trace. The thugs had to head upstairs in search of a new hiding place. They found themselves in a dead end on the top floor. That evening, Kazuma was playing his console as usual. His mother was making him his favorite noodles. Dinner was almost ready. All that was left was to drain the water and set the table. Suddenly, a group of Yakut thugs burst into the apartment. The thugs grabbed the boy and began threatening his mother. No matter what she did, no sudden movements. Majima radioed to his boss for a helicopter evacuation. He knew the special forces would soon arrive, and then they would be finished. Kazuma was a very headstrong brat. With a deft kick to the groin, he inflicted severe pain on his attacker. Ah, ah. 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 Kazuma's mother grabbed a kitchen knife and ran at the insolent ninja. Majima easily fended off her attack. The poor guy flew out the window. Special forces arrived on the scene. They stormed the seized apartment. Majima spotted the special forces running into the entryway. The bandits were lucky. Their boss's helicopter arrived just in time to pick them up. The nimble ninjas jumped out the window, but the villainous Majima was in no hurry to escape. He decided to get rid of any witnesses and also get the special forces involved. To do so, the villain turned on the gas stove burners and threw a piece of cutlery into the microwave to create sparks. Majima then jumped into the helicopter, and the bandits successfully escaped the encirclement. The apartment was quickly filling with gas. Kazuma knew he had to do something if he wanted to survive. There was no time to think. He decided to hide in the refrigerator. The special forces had already reached the door of the seized apartment. The assault began. The gas reached the coveted spark. An explosion rocked the microwave. The doors and windows were blown to pieces. The blast wave blew the refrigerator out of the apartment. It landed conveniently on a police car parked just below the windows. The cops were surprised when a completely calm Kazuma emerged from the charred refrigerator. Miraculously, he had survived. Immediately after the incident, the cops took Kazuma to the police station for questioning. They were very displeased with his silence. The officers harbored a grudge, hoping to deal with the guy with their harsh methods. Along the way, they came across their favorite donut drive-thru. The cops' appetites had worked up, so they decided to stop for a snack. The gluttons bought themselves a huge donut, not even bothering with their little passenger. But apparently, the guy hadn't thought of the idea. When the cops came to their senses, he was no longer in the car. The officers had missed their only witness. A crowbar, and without a mother, without a roof over his head, Kazuma didn't know what to do. What should he do? The dirty streets, littered with homeless people and rats, only heightened the sense of hopelessness. As if to make matters worse, a heavy downpour began. The downpour grew heavier and heavier, causing rivers of rainwater to flow down the streets. Suddenly, a truck sped past Kazuma. The powerful wave knocked him down and carried him down the street, right to a sewer drain. Kazuma found himself in the sewer. There, he encountered some street kids sitting on a fire barrel. They were filthy, dressed in rags, and grilling rat kebabs. Poor Kazuma was shivering from the cold, so he unceremoniously approached the fire barrel to warm up and dry his clothes. The street kids began asking questions of the intruder, but Kazuma remained silent like a gorilla. For this reason, they nicknamed him Silence. The street kids were more hospitable than the cops. Kazuma tried rat for the first time, but judging by his reaction, he wasn't used to it yet. As part of the Street Kids gang, Silent began his first steps into the world of crime. For now, this involved stealing groceries from the supermarket and pickpocketing wallets. With each new theft, Silent gained respect among his fellow homeless people. They had grown accustomed to his constant silence and lack of emotion. That night, the boys decided to rob a Snickers bar factory in Roblox. Using tin snips, it wasn't difficult to cut a hole in the fence. Then, the boys quietly made their way to the factory's service door. Using a crowbar, they carefully forced the door open and entered. The street thieves reached the main factory floor. The sheer number of Snickers bars drove them crazy. They couldn't believe their eyes that this was actually happening. For the poor boys, it was pure paradise. While the kids rejoiced and savored the chocolate, the Silent One, as usual, assessed the situation without any emotion. Meanwhile, the guard was conducting his routine patrol of the grounds. A slightly open service door aroused his suspicion. The guard went to check the factory's interior. There, he discovered thieves about to steal Snickers bars. The guard was furious. Without a second thought, he set his vicious dog on them. The thieves scattered in all directions. One of them was unlucky. The dog bit him in the softest spot. The Silent One heard a commotion. He cautiously peeked out from behind cover and saw his friend in trouble. The Silent One didn't lose his nerve. Using a Snickers bar, he distracted the dog. His friend managed to escape. The dog ran after the Silent One. With a well-aimed throw of a Snickers bar, Silent turned on the conveyor belt and jumped on it like a treadmill. A hilarious chase began. The stupid dog didn't realize he was essentially spinning his wheels. Meanwhile, the guard was looking for the remaining thieves. Two of them hid from him on a lamppost and quietly watched the guard from above. The nimble Silent One, with another well-aimed throw, activated the conveyor belt's maximum speed. The stupid dog was carried into the packaging bay and stuffed into a Snickers box. Silent One went looking for the other kids. He carefully walked through the workshop, looking around in all directions. And before he knew it, he bumped into the guard. He tried to escape, but a well-aimed throw of his baton immobilized Malcolm. The guard approached the fallen Silent One. Now an unpleasant surprise awaited him. Tramps don't abandon each other in need. Ah! Maceo ga Mina. When the Silent One regained consciousness, he realized he was in the sewers of the Brodiac base. One of them was tattooing him with a nail and ink, some hieroglyphs. The Silent One looked at the tattoo suspiciously. It turned out to be just the word silent. The guy was pleased. He liked the tattoo. At that moment, a friend of theirs ran up to the guys. In his hand was an advertising flyer for the newly released PlayStation 2. The Wanderer insisted that if they wanted to get ahead, they needed to start working like real people. The guy suggested robbing a warehouse full of new PlayStations. The PlayStation 2 warehouse heist went off without a hitch. It was the beginning of Silent Gang's long-term success. The guys would pawn the stolen consoles. They began earning their first serious money. They split the profits equally among themselves, so no one would be left out. By the time PlayStation 3 came out, the Rebzinks had bought themselves the latest fashions and were cruising the streets of Roblox on mopeds. And when PlayStation 4 came out, Silent Gang was driving cars designed for former rat-eating street kids. It was a huge success. They were now considered rich in Roblox. All the gang members also got tattoos like Silence, only with their own nicknames, Jolly Cole and Brawler. By now, the guys had acquired a cool Jeep and their own cottage, which housed a warehouse full of stolen PlayStation 5s. The gang was already operating on a large scale, wholesale shipments of consoles from Roblox to Minecraft. All transactions were handled through the darknet. While Molchik was diligently working, the other Rebzinks were busy with various nonsense. Selchak was drinking Bloxicola, Ugaliok was throwing darts, and Brawler was practicing his combat moves. Suddenly, a new order from a user named Hello Kitty 36s appeared on the monitor. He was offering 500,000 Robux for stealing a rare cat. Molchik was very surprised and immediately called the guys over to discuss this serious order. 500,000 Robux for stealing one cat was a good deal for Brawler and Jolly. Ugaliok and Molchin didn't share their comrades' joy. Ember thought this order was out of their league, while the sensible Silent One understood that this job wasn't so simple. He began to ponder the pros and cons. Over the years, Majima and his henchmen from the Nekotsa clan had been unsuccessfully trying to kidnap Hello Kitty. The cat's owner was so fed up with it that, for Hello Kitty's safety, he built a huge, impenetrable fence around the mansion. He organized a special security team and installed laser alarms throughout the house. The bandits themselves no longer believed they would ever succeed in stealing the cat. The matter was utterly hopeless. The boss of the Nekotsa clan was very dissatisfied with his losers. He gave Majima one last chance, but if he failed, he was doomed. A sad Majima sat at the bar, drinking Bloxacola. He knew he didn't have long to live, but suddenly an idea struck him. The entire Roblox underworld had heard of a gang of young guys stealing PlayStations. Majima pulled out his smartphone and went online to offer some successful thieves a Hello Kitty theft. Despite the fact that his life was at stake, Majima decided to cheat. Instead of a fee of 1 million Robux, he only offered 500,000. He decided to keep half for himself. Silent decided to Google information about Hello Kitty. The guys learned that the Yakuza had been trying to kidnap the cat for years, that a special squad was guarding it, and that today it would be participating in a Roblox Best Cat show. Merry Man insisted that the job was worth it, they had to do it. Silent Man thought it over and finally decided to take it on. He already had a brilliant plan in his head. He started sketching it out on a whiteboard. Jolly, Drachen, and began studying the plan. Meanwhile, Hello Kitty was being transported to the Koshi exhibition. Even the president of Roblox would have envied such a security convoy. After studying the plan, the guys immediately began preparations. First, Jolly caught a stray dog. Silent prepared a cage with a cat toy very similar to Hello Kitty. And Drachen brought Silent a fishing rod. When everything was ready, Silent and his gang set off. The plan called for everyone to play a role. The exhibition would feature the most beautiful cats on Roblox, but the main exhibit, of course, was the one and only Hello Kitty. The boys arrived at the exhibition hall. According to the plan, was to remain in the Jeep as the driver. The rest of the guys went off to complete their assigned tasks. Drachen was to disguise himself as a waiter and distract the visitors and security with free sandwiches. The funny guy was supposed to distract the street security guards with a commotion involving his dog and a mock attack. Ah! Oh! Oh! Ah! 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 Oh! Ah! Ah! Well, the silent one took on the most important task. First, he had to use a fishing rod to lift Hello Kitty's cage onto the roof, and then replace it with the cage containing the toy cat. Ultimately, the Hello Kitty theft operation was a success. The cat's security guards didn't notice any trickery. Soon, visitors to the cat show began to notice that something was wrong with Hello Kitty. Security realized that while they were snacking on sandwiches, someone had swapped the live cat for the toy one. The news of Hello Kitty's loss sent the head of the cat's special forces into a furious rage. Action was needed immediately. Guys, let's